Hello, today we're going to talk some common errors and how to fix them. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching me. Let's start. Today we're going to talk about common errors we can do from P1 to P3. Let's start P1, our setup. Let's go first a little bit through those ball positions again. Where we said that if we have our fourth accumulator, our straight left arm coming straight out of my shoulder, which is the center of my swing, straight shaft, and I would play that first ball here. We would call this a B0. This is a ball 0. And then I can go backwards like a B2, a B1, a B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B7, B8, whatever. Just as you know, it's a system, so we can actually really measure where our ball position is. As I said, every ball position is good, just the outcome of the ball is different. So basically, I like to position in a standard way. I would position my ball at B3, B4. It is what we call a built-in draw, because the ball, if I respect the geometry of the swing, actually should fly with a little push draw. For me, setup is always a straight arm and continue with a straight shaft. It doesn't matter if I position my club at B0 or if I position my club at B3. I will always try to keep that straight line, making that radius in a straight line always. It is not absolutely necessary to do that, but at the end, it is a simple solution, and it is something we definitely can repeat continuously with every club. So say that P1 definitely would be my handle forward, my shaft continue my straight line from my left arm. As you know, always slightly on the left with the lower hop, slightly forward. Now, common errors is a lot of golfers dressing up with a lower hop, more behind, with the left wrist slightly extended. Generally, because that gives them the idea or the impression to hit a little bit more up on the ball, but you know that this is actually just the opposite what we are trying to do. So most common errors are this. You still can hit a golf ball from there, but I promise you from here, compressing the golf ball will be way much easier. The second issue at P1 is the grip, the gripping of the club. Now, in my world, every grip is good, but to make it simple, I would like to have a flat wrist when I address my ball at P1. I will have later a flat wrist when my club is at P4. And I would like a flat wrist when I impact my ball later at P7. So for all those golfers who have such a tremendous strong grip, they will not be able to have a flat wrist when they impact the ball, because that club face will be tremendously closed. So obviously our left hand is the hand which controls the club face. And it is true that sometimes I have to go for probably a little bit stronger grip in order to close that club face slightly when I impact the ball. But if you can, definitely something more standard is helpful. The problem with those strong grips, if I take this club here with that little tool on it, what we try is to have a radial deviation in our left hand. So once I set up my club here, Actually, I radial deviate my left wrist. So this tool here, this training aid, actually it is going right into my arm. This is actually where I would like to load my club. But when I have a very strong grip, okay, and I start picking now that club up, not with radial deviation anymore. No, now I will have to extend my left wrist in order to get the club hit up. Now this makes it way much more difficult, because I really have to extend that wrist so much in order to keep that relationship of the shaft to my arm. So it is okay if you choose to have a slightly stronger grip. I'm okay with that, but those very strong grips are difficult to handle, and it will also be difficult to have that shaft later in a proper plane. Good. Let's come to P2. At P2, the ideal is our shaft in the target line. The club face can be anything from square to a little bit closed to a little bit open. Everything is acceptable. Sometimes I need it sometimes with some of my students, I need a little bit more closed. Actually, not so much because of the club face, but I know it will help them not to twist so much, but to extend and laterally bend more. On the other hand, if I have students which extend and laterally bend too much, having a little bit more open club face will help them to move a little bit more around. This is not rocket science. These are just small little things which I have experienced myself by playing many years, and which sometimes help them faster or help you faster to change something or a certain motion in your backswing. So as I said, definitely the shaft pointing to the target. The hands can be anywhere from close to my right leg or further away. It doesn't matter. Sometimes it depends a little bit what kind of angle attack we want to try to achieve, or what club do we have in our hands. Probably if you're looking for something a bit steeper, you can have those hands at P2 a little bit closer to your leg, and probably with a driver you definitely will be a little bit further away. Now the biggest issue or in my point of view, the worst position you can have at P2 is when your hands start moving outwards and your club head start moving inwards. From here, it's almost done. This is almost impossible to recover. That hand path will be wrong. The shaft will never be in the plane. And I have seen very few golfers who from a P2 like this, they can recover that. You will see golfers which in a P2 the shaft is not pointing to the target, it is pointing slightly to the left, and you can recover that. You can even have a perfect P3 and definitely a perfect P4, but having a P2 here, that is definitely for me in my world the biggest mistake you can do. This is something you have to control. This is one of our 10 words in Stack and Tilt, which says that hands in. Those hands never can move outwards. So after P2, we come to P3. P3 for me is a a very important position in the golf swing. However, it is not the highest point, or sometimes, yes, it can be the highest point in the golf swing. But if the shaft of the club is not in the plane on P3, you will rarely see a proper P4 when that club is not lined up properly. An easy drill is what we call the hockey drill. It's where you hold your club. You don't grip it with the fingers together. You just put your right hand on the shaft. You find a P2 here where you are still flexed, and now from here you start doing your knee flex change, your laterally bending, you're extending, and you try to put me that shaft in the plane. In the plane means in the same angle it was here at P1, in the same angle it should be here at P3. A P3, always obviously with a straight left arm, with the butt of the club pushing away, which will help me to load my second accumulator, with loading my first accumulator and putting that club here in the plane. Not there, also not here, not with two straight arms. At P3, those accumulators, they have to load properly. So this is a great exercise. From here, putting the club in the plane. You can do that exercise with any club. Many years ago, when I learned to play golf, and we did not have the advantage of now, where you can research on YouTube and all those social medias, you get much more information. But our coaches always told us that the golf club always has to be in the plane. And that is not always 100% true, because you will see good golfers which do not necessarily have the club in the plane in P2 or in P3. But at the end, if you can manage to do that, if you have an awareness about the plane of your shaft, that would be very, very helpful for your ball striking. So thank you again for watching. I hope you liked the video today. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like. See you soon. Goodbye.